Hello everyone, my name is Matt Petrusik and welcome to the first online edition of the course God and the Political Order. So that's a point I really want to emphasize at the beginning. This is the first time, not that I've taught the course many times before, but the first time that I have taught it online. So this is going to be a learning process, and I want to make sure at the very beginning, and I've already said this in the email, but I just want to make sure it's clear. If you have any questions about anything logistical or any of the assignments or anything that you're responsible for, any dimension of the course, please get in touch with me right away, and the best way to do so is through email. So what I'm going to do in this brief introductory video is I'm going to say a few words about myself, but then go right into the syllabus. I'm not going to read the syllabus in its entirety, just highlight a few points. And once we've got that out of the way, then I'll start uploading lectures, and those lectures are going to correspond to the syllabus that you already have. So first, a few words about me. As I said, my name's Matthew Petrusik, and I've been at LMU for it's been 6 years now. 6 years. I'm in the Theological Studies department. As you're going to see, I'll now share the syllabus with you. Let me just share my screen here. Okay. As you'll see, the approach that I take to teaching these kinds of questions is a very foundational one. And what I mean by that is I want to get into the basement and the basement and the basement of the basement of the foundational principles that we potentially have to use in order to construct not only ideas of political systems, it includes that, but also political values and the values beneath those political values. So one thing that I want you to be doing these next 6 weeks is really trying to get beneath your own ideas to the basement of those ideas and to investigate there and to say, well, why do I hold these views? Why do I hold the values beneath these views? And why do I think they're true? It's a word we're going to be examining throughout the whole semester, is how do we come to a truth claim with regard to a particular principle or value? Now, note up front that this is not only an ethics course, so it fulfills your ethics requirement, but it's also a writing flag course. So you're going to be doing a lot of writing, and if you haven't noticed yet, there's going to be one, this is on the syllabus, I'll note it in just a moment, but there's going to be one long paper that I hope you get started on right now. I'll send out the assignment details shortly, due at the end of the semester. It's about 20 to 21 pages, maybe a little bit more, it's on the syllabus. So the earlier you get started on that, the better this is going to go. Again, this is a short semester, right? So we only have 6 weeks to get through all of the material. So be sure that you keep up with the readings, with the work on the syllabus, and you get started on this as soon as possible. So you're going to be hearing beeps and bloops as I do this as well, since I'm doing this on the computer. So on the first page of the syllabus, you have the course rationale and description. Again, I'm not going to go through this, but I do ask that you read everything here very carefully and closely. It identifies not only the structure of the course, but the approach that I'm taking. And so you want to get clear on this up front in order to get the right orientation to the approach that we're going to be taking here. And also one thing I want to emphasize at the very beginning is that I want you to be examining your own ideas in this course. One thing that I say to all my classes, and I really, really mean this, is don't ever write anything or don't ever say anything that you don't actually believe to be true. So perhaps you've had the experience in other classes or in other dimensions of your life where you find yourself in a situation in which you discover that, well, if I say a particular thing, or if I act as if I have a particular view, or if I just keep quiet, well, then things will go better for me. And so classroom education can become kind of like a game of sorts, where you want to learn the rules of the game and then play according to those rules in order to get the best outcome. Unfortunately, there's lots of areas in life where that's the expectation, at least implicitly, even if it's not said explicitly, but not in this class. So in this class, what I want you doing is thinking and speaking about your own ideas and defending those ideas and examining those ideas and testing those ideas. So the whole purpose of this course, again, is to get down to those structural questions, some of the biggest questions we can possibly ask, and I want you to answer them for yourself and defend them for yourself, and then to make your arguments transparent for others. So that's all embedded here in the course rationale and description. a lot of these questions here. This is just a sampling of them. Again, are trying to get at those foundational questions, those foundational issues that lie in the bedrock of our political values or potentially different political value systems. Learning outcomes and class goals. By the end of the course, I hope this is what you are capable of doing. You'll see here that I'm targeting some different dimensions at the same time. I hope that this class helps you improve your interpretive skills. That is how you read different texts and different arguments, and how you're able to demonstrate comprehension of them, at a deep level of comprehension, how you evaluate those texts and those arguments. And then the final paper that I already mentioned, it has what's called a constructive dimension as well. Now what that means is you're going to be putting together your own political theory, like from the bottom up, and it's going to be yours. And so it's, it's good that you can interpret other people. It's good that you can evaluate other people. That's like totally necessary. But ultimately, you have to be able to build your own arguments. So that's what I'm going to be expecting in this class as well. And we're going to be doing it together. So here, just a note on how important argumentation is in this class. Argument doesn't mean having fights. It means making arguments, which means identifying premises that lead to conclusions and then testing those conclusions against other conclusions with the intention of trying to arrive at the most rational, the best, the most comprehensive, the most satisfying position. So that's the lifeblood of this course. Instructional methods. Again, since this is an online course, everything we do is going to have to be done online. So here's the breakdown of that. I'm going to be uploading, just like this lecture, longer lectures up into a YouTube channel that I've created specifically for this course. And I'll send out a notification, but you can also do it through YouTube. You know how to do that, right? Set on your notifications so you're notified directly when the video goes up, but I'll also send out an email. So that's where all the recorded material is going to be. But listen, please take the time to listen to the lectures carefully. I know that the contemporary attention span, we have 3 kids, and they spend their time watching Vines. I tell them not to watch Vines, but they sneak away and watch Vines. And Vines are what? 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. If you get at the 10-second mark, then you're already pushing the attention span and you only want to jump to the next one. That's one of the unfortunate consequences of being online. There's some good consequences. That's one of the negative ones, that our attention spans get shorter and shorter and shorter. For this, I'm going to ask you to pay attention to the videos, to watch them carefully. Watch them as many times as you like, but get at the substance of it. And do not multitask. Do not have it running in the background. This is the only way that this course is going to work, is if you spend the time to absorb the material. Again, they'll be online. You can hear it as many times as you want, but just set yourself up not to have this streaming along with 10 other things at the same time. That's how you're going to have success in this course. There'll also be responses to discussion questions on Brightspace. I already put up one, and some of you have already responded. There's going to be live group discussions via Zoom. You're going to be divided up into groups and be talking about the questions among yourself. And then I'll be working with those groups individually. I will send out more instructions on that in just a moment. And you're going to have at least one live one-on-one meeting with me through Zoom as well. So at least one time we'll talk in person or digitally in person. So just get that on your radar as well. You're free to meet with me more than that, though. That's up to you, and I'm happy to do it, but I do require at least one meeting. So assessment of student performance. These are the assignments of the course, the vocabulary of theological ethics quiz. I'm going to send out the study guide to that very soon. So I'll be in contact with you with that study guide. It's a very straightforward. It's a multiple choice test that says, have you learned the words or have you not learned the words? That's it. Very straightforward. You're going to have some short writing assignments. Again, this is a writing flag course. So you're going to have a significant amount of writing. You'll have 2 of those. And then here's this political trees. I have a longer assignment sheet that I'm going to send it to you, but this will give you a sense of what I'm looking for. So here, again, what I'm asking you to do is to basically construct your own political theory from the ground up. And the other assignments you do in the class are going to pour into that. They're going to relate to that. But I already want you thinking about these questions. And so just get a jump on the assignment, at least in terms of some possibilities how you might begin to approach the question. So you can look at that here. And then class discussion, which we're going to have to do online through, as I mentioned before, discussion groups and through answering questions that I post to Brightspace. Here's a note on what constitutes legitimate discussion. basically the upshot, as I noted before, is we're going to be gauging ideas. So I want you to say what you actually think to be true, only with 2 criteria to manage that. One is to avoid what are called ad hominem attacks. It's a logical fallacy. And basically what it's composed of is, instead of engaging somebody's argument, you look at something that you think it might be wrong about them. So you look at their character or some other irrelevant characteristic with regards to the argument and attack that rather than the argument. So those are off limits because they're illogical. It doesn't make sense to attack an argument by attacking the person making the argument. So just stick away from ad hominem attacks. Otherwise, examine arguments, test arguments, try and take them apart, see where their weaknesses might be. That's the whole purpose of being in a class. It's the whole purpose of college, at least from the humanities perspective. So, so do that. You're free, you're encouraged, you're expected to do that. Just stay away from any kind of ad hominem arguments, which are not arguments. And also, point 2 here, make sure that you make your own thinking as transparent and accessible as possible. And what I mean by that is, assertions aren't arguments, right? So if somebody asks you what you believe and you say, well, I believe X, Y, and Z. And they say, okay, well, why do you believe that? And you say, because I do, because I say it. Well, that's not an argument. And the conversation, which isn't a conversation, is already over at that point because it's merely the assertion of a standpoint without any explanation of that, of the infrastructure beneath it that makes that assertion intelligible. So be willing and ready to share why you believe what you believe and to receive criticism for whatever it may be. Critical comments that are whose goal is to probe potential weaknesses. That's how we all learn, and that's how we all get better at not only identifying but explaining our own positions on things. There's also a required one-on-one meeting. So the feedback to the professor here is, as I noted before, get in touch with me anytime if you have any questions about the course. Workload expectations, grade distributions. This shows you how much each part is worth. Please note there's not going to be any extra credit opportunities available. Some more policy, about the class. Here's the required text. So a lot of it I'm going to be able to get to you either on Brightspace or I'll email it to you. But you do need this book here and a Bible. If you already have a Bible, that's fine. For our sakes and purposes, any translation will do. If you don't have a Bible, also fine. You can easily find them online, but we will be doing readings from the Bible, both the Old Testament and the New Testament. And as I said here, that there'll be readings that I make available to on Brightspace and or email them to you. This is a recommended text. It's not required for the course, but it is a great text that lays out some of the foundational issues that we'll be discussing and also provides a great summary of some of the major ideas in the Western theological and philosophical political tradition. And so I highly recommend it to you. Jean Beth Gelsch is one of my professors at the University of Chicago, who has since passed, but did excellent work. And so it's entirely up to you, but I do recommend it. Expectation and classroom policies. Here I just want to highlight that plagiarism and academic honesty I take, as we all should take, extremely seriously. And by that I mean that if I find any kind of plagiarized material in any of the assignments, then it's an automatic 0, and there's danger of failing the course. It has happened before. There have been students who have failed this course because they have plagiarized, and so just don't do it. It should be easy not to do it in this course, especially because I'm not asking you to do research. I'm not asking you to engage what other people say about these ideas and authors, but what you say about these ideas and authors using those texts and your own head and heart to dig into it in order to come to your own conclusions. So there should be no excuse for ever stepping outside of the text to see what other people think. So stay away from Wikipedia, stay away from even Google searches. Just stick to the text, stick to your own thinking, and you'll be fine. It's easy to avoid. Some other things here that you can look through on your own time. Let me then get down to the actual assignments. Okay, getting there. All right, summer online course schedule. So see here, the way I've divided up the classes by week. So we're currently in week 1. And what I would like is by the end of each week to have had all of the readings for that week done. So by Friday, preferably by around noon, but if you go deeper into the day, that's fine as well. But basically by the end of that week, make sure that you've read everything for that week. So today I'm going to be emailing you the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, which you can also find on your own, but I have a document that I email to you. And I want you to get started on reading St. Thomas More's Utopia. Here's a link to that text. Perhaps you already have the text, a few people do. But if you don't, then you can get it online, and to start reading it right away, get 2/3 of that done by this Friday. Week 2, you'll see that we already have the Vocabulary of Theological Ethics quiz. It's going to be at the end of the week. I'm going to do it through Brightspace. I'll send you more details about that. But today I'll be sending you the study terms. Again, very straightforward. Just begin studying those terms and you'll be fine. So here again, you see the readings that we're going to be doing. You're going to get your first essay topic next week. This is a very compressed class, so things have to be done right away. So just note that once you get things, start working on them right away. And this is the week 2, week 3, week 4. First essay due is week 4. Then immediately you get the second essay. Week 5, the second essay is going to be due. And at the very end of this class, which is very soon, basically a little over a month from now, you're going to have that political treatise due. And so again, I want you to start working on that right away. So that gives you a basic overview of what we're doing in the course. Again, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them, but also take a good look at the syllabus, because it's likely that the question is already answered in the syllabus. So make sure you've read that carefully. But at the same time, I'm here. It's my job. I'm happy to do it. I'm excited about this. So let me know if you have questions along the way. I'm going to X out of this now. See, I'm still learning this, so you're going to see some awkward me trying to work the meeting as I do it. All right. So take care all. I'll be uploading the next video here in the near future. See you soon.